This right here is what it looked like when I first opened Blender. I couldn't even move the cube. Within 20 minutes, I decided, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. Clicked out of the program and uninstalled it. And I thought that was the end of the 3D journey for me there. So after a couple days thinking about it, I decided to, you know what, let's hop back in here, figure it out. You know, I'm not going to be able to do all the crazy stuff and ideas that I have in mind in the program on day 2, or day 1 of my second attempt rather. And so I decided, you know what, let's start out where most people start out, which is the good old donut tutorial from Blender Guru. His link will be in the description below, as any of the people that I name whose tutorials that I've followed and have been learning Blender through. So here was my first attempt at the donut. Before the icing, it was looking really good, and I was so happy with it. And then once I put the icing on, it looked like a bird had pooped all over it, let's be honest here. Pretty much destroyed my donut, obviously by my own doing, because I didn't properly understand how to use the tools. Humbled me very quickly, so I decided, you know what, let's scrap this one. We're going to start from start to finish. All episodes of the tutorial, I think there was like 16 or 17 episodes, and this is what we came up with, our second donut. Now this looks absolutely great, in my opinion, obviously, you know, relative to being a beginner, and I was super happy with it, and I learned a ton. That tutorial was absolutely amazing because it took me from, you know, just being able to move the cube first off, the starting cube, to all the way through basic animation. So after the donut, I decided I wanted to make some characters, because that's pretty much what I wanted to learn how to do in Blender. And I mean, there's a lot of things I want to learn how to do in Blender, but this is besides the point. Characters were the next step for me. And again, just like the first mistake I made with the donut, I tried to do things myself without not knowing how to do anything. And so I was quickly reminded that, again, let's look at some tutorials and start from the basics. I don't have to follow the tutorial exactly. I can do it my own way a little bit, but yeah. I looked up a tutorial and I found this guy, Joey Carlino. His link will also be in the description. And basically I just followed his character modeling tutorials on his channel. But instead of using the reference photos he had, I have my own vision. So I just followed the steps that he was saying, but with my own character. So unfortunately, I didn't really start recording from the beginning on most of these things. As you can tell, these are just a bunch of clips kind of posted together from the different iterations of my character, because honestly I wasn't expecting to get the look that you see on the screen right now this quickly. I thought it would take like at least 15 tries or something like that, but this was my third, maybe fourth, I think it was my fourth technically, try at a character, and you know, it came out a lot how I liked it. And you know, there's definitely a lot of problems with it, and I'll go over that as the video keeps going, but we're getting there. I mean, if you go back and look at the head right after the donut part of this video, the progress is day and night, obviously. So I just stuck with it, and like I said, I didn't record the beginning of this one. The future videos that I'm already working on start from the cube and go all the way to the end, so those videos will be more fluent. I just wanted to show some of the behind the scenes of some of my early renders or models, whatever you want to call them, and that's why it's all just kind of jumbled right now in this video. But as you can see on the screen right now, I'm making some sort of little bag. It's going to be a money bag for our character Kevin. As you guys can see, at some point he has gold grills also, which I learned a ton of stuff on this. In the upcoming few seconds here, you can see I go into the shading tab and I start playing around with all the colors and, you know, like all those, I don't even know what to call them. Honestly, I'm just kind of trying to think of the proper word, and I honestly don't know what to call them. But the lower section here, as you guys can see on screen right now, where I'm messing with the colors, I learned how to make a little bit more of an advanced armature, which are, if you don't know, the bones, like the things that are allowing my character to move on screen right now, and also in the beginning. But again, one of the problems I had were I modeled the legs outward, so like this just doesn't work properly pretty much. And his right hand is also kind of backwards, I'm pretty sure. I didn't roll the bones properly, so his hand is still open, and that's because whenever I tried to model, or whenever I tried to put it, you know, kind of grasping around like I did with the sign on the opposite hand, it was backwards. So it kind of like destroyed it completely. So although I was very happy with it, there's definitely a lot of flaws with this, and that's okay. That's part of the process. And the last few little parts here that I came up with, or not that I came up with, or that I wanted to create, was kind of like a space environment for our alien guy, Kevin. And so I found another great tutorial. Off the top of my head, as I'm saying this, I don't remember the name, I'm sorry, but that link in the description will be, actually I think it was the same guy, it was Joey Carlino again. So that video will also be in the description below if you guys are interested in learning how to make kind of like space nebula looking things. There's even more that I can do into the space, which I have saved for future projects, so stay tuned for that as well, because most of these are going to have some sort of spacey themed background as our guys from space. So here we go. I started with the last section of our creation here. I wanted him on a floating rock. This is basically inspired by one of the paintings I created. I put a video up on my channel of me painting a skateboard, and that's kind of what it looks like. There's a guy on an island coming out of a portal. I don't know how to make the portal yet, so we're gonna have to wait on that for this piece as well. But I wanted our boy Kevin to be on the island. So it took me a few tries, messing around with a bunch of different ways to create islands. Again, watching tutorials, those links will be in the description. And just honestly, just trial and error. That's pretty much one of the biggest takeaways that I've had in this so far. As you can see on screen, this island looks like a garlic clove, pretty much. But just moving some of the vertexes around, or vertices rather, just until I get the shape I like. And you know, I think that's kind of how it goes. There was no reference for this other than, you know, like I said, the painting I created, and so there's a general idea, but there's no detail or anything like that. So it was all just trial and error until I found something I liked. And the top of it was super fat and didn't like it at all, so I learned how to make, you know, little mounds on top to kind of break it up, so it's not just like a flat piece on top. There's actually like some, what's it called, like terrain maybe, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word, but there's some kind of small hilly things, I guess, bumps. And yeah, so I was pretty stoked on this piece. Super low poly island. I actually did learn how to use geometry nodes to stick like a bunch of rocks on the bottom layer. So let me just show you guys. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, so here's the super messed up, obviously. That's why I left it out, because I messed around for it for so long, and it's gonna have to be one of those things I come back to when I gain more knowledge on the tools and stuff in order to do this more proper. So I just kind of liked the low poly cleaner look rather than this like warty looking thing. Just, yeah, it wasn't right, and it didn't look right either. This is what it looked like. Yeah, definitely didn't really, I mean, it kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of just looks unnatural, which is, yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't like it anymore. So that's why I left it out. But to wrap up this video, here's some final renders that came out. Just playing around with the camera, different angles, nothing crazy. Different lighting, some of them have bright lights, some of them I put like a pink hue to match kind of like the nebula scene environment. So just messing around, playing around. And actually the last picture you guys will see that I'll put up there has a little bit of Photoshop in it as well. I don't know how to like write in Blender yet, so that's where I put the money sign in, and also wrote on his wooden sign in his left hand. I did that in Photoshop because, yeah, I don't know how to do that in Blender yet. So we'll figure it out though. But I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys enjoyed, stay tuned for the next one. It'll be a little bit more fluid from one project from start to finish. And yeah, we'll see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching, and have a fantastic day. Peace.